All right, welcome back to another episode of Travel Ball Talk. I'm your host, Rich Prado, owner of Play in School. Today we're headed out to the Dallas, Texas area to catch up with a father-son duo, Omar and Ty Washington, Citius Baseball. Ty, Omar, welcome to the show, man. How are y'all?
Good. Thanks for having us on.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
All right, so this is a rare circumstance. We've done it in the past. We've got two guests on the show, so we're going to try our best to not talk over each other because that's definitely hard because they're not sitting in the same room. So we've got them dialed in on separate lines. But before, like 1 second before I hit record, I asked a question, and I thought it was a silly question because it is a silly question, a little bit of a silly question. I am not super familiar with the phrase or term or word Citius. And I asked you to explain it. You explained it, and I said, oh, I need to ask that again. Can you give those of us listening the breakdown on where the word or the name Citius comes from Citius Baseball?
Yes, Citius comes from the Olympic medals, bigger, faster, stronger. Citius is faster. We figured that we were looking at changing our name from the Dallas Panthers. We went to Citius because it was kind of part of the brand of what we do. Like, we understand that speed is everything, strength is everything. So we couldn't do all three, so we chose Citius. So it means faster in Latin. So that's why we went with it. So it's unique. A lot of people ask me the same question. We enjoy answering it so that way people can understand that what we're really about. You know, we really about the development of baseball and developing the tools within the game. So that's where we came up with the name, and it's been unique. And a lot of people, we have a lot of teams, and a lot of people are always asking us what the Citius means. So that's the understanding of it.
Faster in Latin, who I would have never guessed, but it's awesome. And I get the impression like I'm guessing you guys are always aiming for that super athletic, fly around the field, first to third, diving catches in the gap. That's the type of guys you're looking for if you're basing your brand on the word faster, isn't it?
Yeah, we're looking for guys, and I'll let Ty speak on that also, but we're looking for guys that, we understand that speed is a common denominator throughout. Whether it's velocity, bat speed, running speed, whatever it is, how quick you feel the ball, get rid of it. So when we were looking at it, we were like, man, this is pretty awesome. It's unique. It's different. We didn't want to just continue to be in the same name. We wanted to draw that attention and that desire to people to ask us what's going on with that team. And so and in the process, we have attracted those kids. We've had a lot of them, like you said, that can really run. My son was one of them, obviously, and Fernelli Sanchez out of New York was 6'1", Travis, what was Travis's last name, Ty? Ty, you still there? Yeah. So anyway, we can't hear Ty right now, but anyway, we've had a lot of guys run 6'1", 6'2s.
That is blazing fast. That's generational speed. It's crazy. It's like you look up. I feel like and I know you guys are partnered with. I think it's Velocity on the training.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me, like the speed, strength, the arm velocity on the mounds. Everything has just exploded in the last couple, like maybe 10 years. Whereas my generation, I graduated high school in 97, and I don't know if the guns are different, or if the velocity is different, but then just the number of guys who are throwing so hard in high school has just exploded. But at the same time, foot speed's the same way. It used to be 6'9" was fast. Now all of a sudden,
right.
6'4", 6'3", 6'2", 6'1". Holy smokes, we've got a track team out there that can swing the bat. That's scary. So did we lose Ty?
I'm still here. Can anybody hear me?
Okay, yeah. Now we got you. Let's I kind of want to get Ty's perspective on because he's looking at he grew up in this organization, so I want to hear Ty's sort of perspective on the foundation of Citius from his viewpoint and sort of bring us through his experience, because I kind of get the impression that he came through as a player and then now as a 30-year-old is running the thing. So Ty, do you want to take us back to sort of how this thing got started? I'm assuming how your dad got it started back in the day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, you grew up with the Dallas Panthers.
Ty, are you muffled? Do you hear him muffled too?
Yeah, he's a little muffled. I wonder if we should we try to reconnect him?
Okay. If you're on speaker, Ty, you might want to get off speaker or get off headset.
Yeah, it's like a tough connection. We could pause here and call him right back. You think we should? Let's do that. Why don't we pause the show and then call, and then you disconnect from Ty and just call him right back. All right, going around obstacles and hurdles here today. The before we lost time, we got Ty right back. So my question was directed at Ty. I wanted to get his perspective as growing up, watching the foundation and being, I'm assuming, a player. I really actually don't know Ty's whole story, so I'd love to hear from his perspective the foundation story of Citius and bring it all the way to now, where Ty is sort of at the helm of the organization.
Yeah, so honestly, Citius started my last year of travel ball. We were the Dallas Panthers originally for as long as I could in baseball. Dad had started that up, so that was just something we were common to, and we wanted to go more national based, and he took that direction. I don't remember the Citius thing. I just remember saying we're Citius. Okay, cool. Doesn't matter. Still baseball to me. So we're gonna throw on the cleats and still go to war. So we had two teams, I believe, when we started Citius. One was a 16U team, one was a 17U team. Actually, I think it was a 17 or 18U because I got drafted.
It was a 16 and an 18.
Yeah, it was a 16 and an 18U team, and I had got drafted that summer by Cincinnati, and I still was undecided on what I wanted to do. If I wanted to go to college, if I wanted to go pro, so I just decided to play the summer out and see how it went. And I till this day, I tell people that it was one of the greatest summers I ever had of playing baseball. I mean, it was incredible, the amount of talent we had around us. A group of guys that was so willing to go out and play the game the right way, the hard way, but also have an incredible amount of fun while we do it. I'd say there was other teams out there that were way better. Had 40, 50 guys on their roster, and we were putting those guys down, and they were getting mad. And we started building a name. I believe that summer, people were coming out of the woodwork like, "Yo, who's the Citius team? These guys are crazy. These guys are crazy on the baseball field," and we loved that. We took that with some pride and let's keep this thing going. So after that, obviously I went and played 6 years pro ball. Everything that I had learned in some Citius ways definitely translated on the field for me. I played that exact same way throughout my entire career. Just remembering to have fun and play the game hard. Most importantly, Dad taught me a lot there and how to play the game and the ebbs and flows, the ups and the downs, and it routed me out as a player. Kept me humble and just play the game hard every day that I ever played the game. So it came full circle for me. And once I was done, and it didn't take very long for me to hop in on the coaching side of it and start, helping out and figuring out the way that this travel ball stuff works. It's a lot different than what originally I thought it was from a player's side. way different.
What now let me interrupt for 2 seconds. What year did you graduate high school and get drafted?
I got drafted I graduated in 2011 and got drafted. I got drafted the same day I graduated.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so 2011. Yeah, the travel ball world has definitely changed a little bit since 2011. And out of curiosity, you were committed to go somewhere. Where were you committed to go?
Yes, sir. I was committed to go to the University of Oklahoma.
Okay, got it. Awesome. And what round did you get drafted in?
So I was back in the day when there was a million rounds. So I got drafted in the 43rd round. 43rd
round. And you sit down with your dad and, you know, the people in your life that you know, that are mentors to you, and you sort of talk about the options. What do you think was sort of the main part that made you choose going the pro route instead of going to Oklahoma?
You know, like I said, that summer of playing for Citius, you know, originally off the rip, I truly thought about, okay, well, maybe college might be the option. You just don't know with the 43rd round. So, you know, it's just one of those things where that's why I said, let's just play the summer. You know, the Cincinnati Reds would send scouts out to watch, and, you know, I would just go from there. So at the end of the summer, eventually, you know, it got to that point, and they sent me an offer that I just, you know, couldn't reject. And for me, I wasn't a big school guy. Mm-hmm. School came hard for me. I mean, I did enough to pass, but school was very hard, and all I ever wanted to do was play baseball.
Yeah.
So, you know, and once they eventually, you know, they laid it out, oh, yeah, you know, you can go to college after you get done playing. You know, MLB does provide for, you know, sports in the afterlife of baseball. So it was pretty much no-brainer for me at that point.
Yeah. It's so easy from the outside looking in and saying somebody should do this or should do that. But until you hear the actual personal story, you don't know. Listen, I know guys who were projected. I mean, we're hearing these type of stories, the opposite, projected first, second, third round picks who said, nah, I'm going to go to school. And you're like, oh, you know, like, why would you do that? Or why would they do that? Until you hear the personal story, you don't know the full story. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. So you ended up playing 6 years pro ball. Would you describe it as mostly fun, mostly hard, mostly what? Like, how do you describe your 6 years?
It's a little bit of both. A very hard, humbling experience of a game. You know, you learn. Actually, I didn't even sign my own contract. My dad had to fly in from the Athletic All-American game to sign my contract because I wasn't 18 years old yet. So.
No kidding! Unbelievable.
I was a pup. Got thrown into the grown man world real quick. I grew up real fast. Once that journey started, you had to grow up quick. Dad wasn't going to be there all the time, you know. So yeah. It's just one of those things where the first couple months, I didn't get to play the first couple months. I signed late, so my contract started the next year. But at least I was there to, you know, practice and kind of get the feel and gist of it. It was very hard. Very hard going to, you know, facing guys that are now 24, 25 years old. So it was a quick game. Finally learned to slow it down and kind of get in the groove of things. But I say once I did get in the groove of things, it was fun. I mean, being around the guys, and it's work. I mean, people don't understand it's working. I mean, we're getting to the field at 6, and you're not really getting out there until about 6 p.m. I mean, to being honest, it's day-to-day grind. Yeah,
you know, obviously this podcast is called Travel Ball Talk. We're talking mostly that circuit, and the reality is most of the kids on that circuit, they're going to go a more traditional route and end up in a 4-year situation, 4-year school situation. So it is cool to highlight that and sort of remind myself and remind anybody who might be listening. It's not Ritz-Carlton. It's not, it's not steak dinners every night. It's a job, and not only is it a job, it's a rather hard job. It's long hours for short pay. So I appreciate you sort of highlighting that for us. Now let's go back to Omar. So your boy, well, I'd say your boy signed on the line, but you had to do that for him because he was still underage, which is kind of hilarious. But he's gone. He goes off to pursue pro baseball. You're left behind to grow Citius baseball. Besides the Citius in the velocity, foot speed, bat speed, arm speed, what else would you say are maybe some of the things that you try to do or implement that maybe were differentiators, in your organization versus, in Dallas, man, you got competition everywhere. So, like, what are some of the things you were trying to do to set yourself apart?
Well, at heart, we're developers, right? So we focus more on the development of kids. I don't do a whole bunch of recruiting, going outside and trying to find every kid in the country to come play for us and just pick up ringers to go try to win tournaments and say, look what we did. That's not my deal. I know a lot of teams that fly kids in, from other teams and they win a tournament and they blast it all over their page. I'm just not that guy. I want to win from the guys that we go to war with from the beginning. And so we spend a lot of time developing kids and they want to call our kids to go play with them because we've done such a good job of instilling the game of baseball in them, teaching them what they need to know, and giving them the tools so that way they can get to, if they do go play pro ball or college, that they can continue their career because they understand how to make adjustments and what to do as opposed to just chasing rings or chasing trophies or whatever, and trying to say, well, we won this tournament. And it doesn't equate to a whole lot. When I grew up, it was a lot different. We played leagues. We had to win the whole season. Then you had to win these tournaments to continue to advance. And it taught you the war of attrition so that way you understand how to continue to get better week in and week out, so for us as a group, we spend a lot of time and we have a ton of pro guys and they come work out with us over at Velocity and at its facilities. And the reason why is because with the teachers, we spend a lot of time focusing on the development, teaching of the game and teaching young men to become better baseball players. So for us, with our teams, we do a great job of taking guys that have talent, some talent, and turning that talent into, much better talent. Where coaches is like, hey man, we really like these guys, and we see where this is going. The projectability is good. We understand the whole game has changed with the metrics and analytics of the game, but understanding how do we get to those numbers is also what we do. We spend a lot of time focusing on spin rates and launch angles and understanding what they're looking for the next level because it's now a factor as opposed to when I played. I've scouted for 14 years. You can just see somebody and say he's a guy because this is what I've seen. That those days are gone. Now they want a video and biomechanics is such a big deal. So for us, it's giving the kids the tools that they need to continue to be successful, and we do a great job of that. We've had a ton of success. We've had a ton of guys get drafted and go to college, and so that's our deal. We try to give you, for most kids, it's a college deal. There are a few that'll go play, and they'll get the opportunity to see if they have what it takes to make it through the minor leagues and get to the big leagues, and we've had some success with that. So, so that's really who we are at core, and that's what we strive to be as Citius, is giving those guys the tools.
That's a solid answer, and I appreciate that. I'm on your website for anybody listening, citiusbaseball.com. I'm assuming that's your main website, right? citiusbaseball.com.
Right.
And I found at least one. No, I think I got the wrong Twitter. Anyway, what do you guys? Are you is Citius on Twitter? I was going to direct.
Citius. It should be Citius. I mean, Citius BB, Citius Baseball.
All right, there you go. You can find them there. So I'm on the citiusbaseball.com website, and one of the things that jumps out is you guys have expanded beyond Dallas, Texas. You know, looks like you've expanded into other areas of Texas, Oklahoma. Looks like you've got a Northeast contingency, New York, D.C., Maryland, and even West Coast. So while you talked about priding yourself on, you know, not going out and recruiting, you know, the guy's best player on the other team to come play for you, it appears that people have liked your model and you know, have wanted to team up with you. You talk about sort of how y'all began to expand beyond the, you know, Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Okay, I'll take this one. Let you finish it up. But so what happened was you go out and you meet people. And people see what the brand is. They see what we're doing, and they see what, you know, they like what we're doing as far as the development, and they really want to get on board. So now I think we have like 29 teams in Illinois area. New York has several teams. Florida, West Coast, we're kind of iffy out there a little bit, but Oklahoma has a couple, and then we also have, I'll name some of our coaches, man, just to kind of give them understand. Like Will Rowland, we have him in South Texas. He had left and he came back, and I think he has 12 or 13 teams in the Corpus area. We have here locally, even though Ty runs it, we have Juanillo, we have some good coaches, Ikmata, we have Antonio, we have some really good guys here. Jeff Shelton is also our partner. And then Florida, we have Brian Dubose. He runs that area out there. You know, so, and then we have in Illinois, I think we have Mario and Brian, who do a great job out there. And they came over from Huntley Blue, but a lot of it started with just meeting people and talking with people. And they said, man, you know, we really love what you guys are doing. And we love the fact that you care about kids, you know, and in a game today that I think that kids are really not, you know, they're at the bottom. You know, people really don't care about them, and they really just want them to come win or get, you know, or get checks. You know, they basically equate to a certain dollar figure. And for us, it's just not that. You know, I could tell you, we don't go into this thing trying to make a bunch of money. We just go into this thing trying to make sure we give kids a great platform to play. So when it came to those guys meeting with us, they literally jumped on board because, you know, we're doing it for the right reason, you know, and in a day where a lot of people don't do things for the right reason. So when you look at our teams, it's consistent across the board. Our guys, they really go out and have fun. Our teams, they win, but they win through working, you know, and getting better. So we don't, even in that, we don't really, like, you know, our national program is built within our organization. It's not built outside. We don't call guys and say, come, let's go get it. You know, we have really good coaches here that they do a great job of recruiting their team in the beginning of the season, and they're highly ranked teams. You know, like when I say highly ranked, top 5, top 7, you know, in the country, and they do a great job of developing the kids and keeping the kids in pocket and making sure the parents understand what the goal is moving forward. I think Mario and them do the same. Ryan, we all have the same outlook, and we get together. And when we do, it's just love across the board. We love each other. We try to go out and play the base baseball we can, knowing that our kids are constantly being recruited to leave us, you know, which is a sad thing that you can't. I guess that's the world we live in. If you can't beat them, still them, you know. So,
yeah.
You know, but the parents kind of understand too that we do a great job of giving as much as we do. Is, you know, it ain't us. You know, like tournaments are so expensive now, and hotels and all the travel stuff that you have to do. Is just, you know, it wasn't like that years ago when Ty was coming through. It was, you know, a couple $1,000 maybe to go to one of the top tournaments. Now that's almost up to $4,000. You know, and you're like, come on, you know, it's just kind of getting out of hand. But reality is that that's why those guys jumped on the bandwagon with us, and we love him. We love them being a part of what we do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And you definitely touched on an important part. It's like, you know, sometimes the parents think grass is greener It like no matter how green their grass is, they think it might be greener somewhere else, and you can't help that, or you can't stop that. But also, man, like if you're providing a tremendous service, then hopefully the parents and players recognize that, and if they're not happy, they're going to leave. And vice versa, if they're with somebody else and they're not happy where they are and they come to you, that's what, cool. That's it's sort of a motivating factor to try to provide that top-notch service, which is at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're providing a service for these people. It's no different than anything else out there. You try to do your best, and retention is sort of a result of how those customers feel at the end of the day. The price point is the price point at this point. I think travel baseball has always had a bad reputation for being expensive, and I don't know. I hear that all the time, and I go, well, first of all, it's not the baseball part. Generally speaking, it's not the baseball part that's terribly expensive. It's usually the travel part. If every mom and dad is going to go to every single event and get hotels and eat out every single weekend in the summer and fall, yeah, they're going to spend a bunch of money, but I know we've had a lot of programs on here that are like sort of like old school blue collar, and a lot of parents don't even go. The kids jump in a 15 passenger van with coach, and guess what? Those parents are spending less money. Those parents spend less money because they get less hotel rooms and eat out less time. So it is what it is. But, one thing I try to remind people is like every hobby costs money, and this thing's a hobby. And if you think baseball is expensive, just be happy your kid isn't into wakeboarding and you need to go buy your kid $100,000 boat so he can wakeboard. You know what I mean? So it's all perspective. Ty played ball. Be happy he wasn't into fly fishing, or you know what I mean? Like one fly fishing rod's like $5,000. So Ty, now we fast forward, you get out of pro ball, you're I think from the time of graduation, that was 11, we're 13 years down the road, you've become sort of a leader in this organization. You're running training, you're running teams. Does this give you new perspective of what your pop was doing back when you were just a 17-year-old kid?
Oh, 100%. I definitely understand why he was pulling hairs out all those years. It's definitely been an eye opener. Just seeing how to run things, back office way, and then obviously running things on the field. I kind of do it all. Obviously, I'm coaching a couple teams, and then running back, and then doing some stuff and the back office, and it's definitely a lot harder than what I imagined, but it's been good. He's pretty much grandfathered me in. We still do some stuff, go over some stuff together. Just making sure we can still stay on task. For the
for your crew that's in the Dallas Fort Worth area, what are the ages of the teams under the Citius banner?
So our youngest right now is our 7U team. Actually, they're 7U. It's fall now. Yep, 7U and then 17U.
Oh, so pretty much the whole way through. You got the whole gamut. And what age are you coaching, Ty?
Yes, sir. So I coach 17U and 15U.
Okay, you bounce back and forth between those two. Cool. Omar, are you still on field, or are you more of like the sort of the general that's going to bounce between fields and really working the cell phone, and working the contacts?
100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%
Yeah, I would say that that's definitely accurate. I think I'm more of the roving guy that goes around and says, hey, I go out and I see what the coaches are doing and I help, and like Ty tells me, get off the field quite a bit. But top coaches.
Yeah.
But it's his team, and it's just hard. As an old general of the game, you just want to go out and tell kids, this is what they're looking for. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and then at the same time, it's good for the parents for me to kind of sit around and talk to them and get them to understand that it's a team sport sometimes, and understand that your kid can't play every end of every game. And sometimes it's good to watch, and it kind of gives you that burning desire to be better. And that's what we do. Look, I'll be honest with you. Look, we try to make this game affordable for everybody, and I know there's a lot of teams that can care less about that, but we really try to open the gamut for everybody and say, listen, regardless of where you come from and your finances or whatever, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out for you in your best interest. And we know that this can be a thankless job sometimes. And I think there's a lot of baseball coaches that would stand behind me on that. You can go out of your way to help kids and the parents sometimes, and they don't even care. But there are a lot that do, and there are a lot of guys that come back after they play this game, and they come back and they say, man, I went to school, and I got a guy that works at Homeland Security right now, and he was the guy that used to come and just shag for me, when I would work with the Harmeal, brothers, and he would come up and just shag, and we wound up getting him to become a pitcher, and he wound up going to school, and he went all the way. So now he's working Homeland Security. So this kid comes in town, he calls me, and he's not a kid no more. He's a grown man, and he's like, hey, I want to come get a lesson. And I'm like, what do you want to get a lesson for? You don't play. I just want to give back.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm like, so there's a lot that goes into for me. So yeah, that's kind of who I am. I love seeing those stories. I know it's far and few between sometimes, but for us to help kids get school and and do that, and I try to work with scouts, and talk to them like, hey man, you need to look at this kid or whatever. And you really need to lock in on this guy because he has what it takes to play at the next level. And I think that gives them. So that's kind of who I am. So that's why we.
I can definitely visualize you at an event on the outside of the fence, and I think it's actually such a really important role. Outside of the fence, rubbing elbows with the college coaches and scouts that are there, and let your coaching staff and your team do what they're going to do. And I know not every travel team has the luxury of having a guy that can be outside the fence, but I think that's a really valuable position, because you can be over there rubbing elbows, giving insight on that player, on that family, on that kid's work ethic, in the moment while the coach is there and watching and scouting. So, I know you want to be on the field and barking orders at the at the team, but you got an important role too outside the fence. Plus you got to let Ty do his thing.
There it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I want to, I heard you use this term a couple times earlier when we were talking about the facility, but I went and found the facility, and it's not, I thought you were saying velocity, but it's actually, I was hearing you right, but it didn't sound right in my head. It's actually velocracy. So VELOCRACY. Just like Citius, this is like a word I'm unfamiliar with. Is this a word that you guys made up, like took two different words and put it together, or is this
there you go. Velocity and accuracy? Yes. So,
got it. I got it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just here to embarrass myself. I like that.
No, it's okay. I mean, people come, but that's another thing. People come to me and they go, "What is that?" And it's our platform. It's our pitching platform on one side, and then obviously trying to run the fielding, hitting side on the other side. But our pitching platform has produced tons of guys out of it, and it has for years. So we just named it Velocity several years back, because that's what we work on constantly is velocity and the command of your pitches accuracy. So So we spent a lot of time with that. So we were like, man, it's pretty cool. It's fueled.
I dig it.
It's fueled by democracy.
I dig it, man. I dig it. Man, you get the online geeks who want to beat each other's throats, and you get throw harder no matter what. And that's all that's important. And then you get the other guys who go, yeah, but you got to be accurate. You got to be able to throw strikes. And the answer is like, do both.
You got to do both.
Do both.
Like, you got to do both.
That's right. Yeah. And that's velocracy. It's having velocity and accuracy. You need both. Like in this day and age, you need both. Like it's don't
play if you don't. And that's the key,
Correct.
With metrics being where they are, you have to be able to do both. When I played, you throw 92 and 93, and they're like, "Oh my God, this guy's got a cannon," and that's a average fastball, almost below average in big leagues. Guys get lit up at 91, 92, and that's crazy because several years back, you were like, "Man, this guy's almost unhittable."
Correct.
So, now you see kids throwing at 15 years old, throwing, up to 96 and 97, and you're like, what in the world has things come to? But
it's bonkers.
And then at the same time, and then in the crazy side of it, you see kids hitting it.
Even more bonkers. Totally.
Yeah. Just how would you dig in on a guy throwing that hard? And it's just, there's so much more to the game now that we didn't know. And I had coaches that would tell me stuff that did not even make sense. And I was like, wow. Now I look back and I was like, he really didn't know what he was saying. He really didn't know what he was saying. So, and you kind of go, wow, I made it through that and I still played. But then you kind of go, wow, imagine if someone really, took the time and they really knew what they were telling me with everything that, when I played, you watch Dwight Gooden, you watch Reggie Jackson, you watch, whoever played, you kind of go, man, I'm going to throw just like them. Or I'm going to hit like, I'm Greg Nettles or whoever it is. You just kind of watch these different people, Goose Gossage. And you go, today I'm Goose Gossage. And we basically just emulated what we've seen on TV without slow motion.
Yeah.
And so, so that's kind of where we said, we're going to set our bar kind of high with kids and spend a lot of time with them and working out. And so we do it. Like, there's times we get pro guys that'll come in on their off break and, they have 2 days off and they'll fly in or drive in and we'll work all night, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, fixing things, and trying to say, hey, these are the things that have changed and what you need to get back to. So,
and in case for people who are still listening, I think the website is velocracypitchingacademy.com, I think is where you can find it.
Correct.
So Velocracy Pitching, Velocracy Pitching, and that's in the Dallas area. It
is. We're in Mesquite, Texas.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Hey, I don't want to eat up your whole day, but I want to ask. Let's go with 2 more questions. One's a quick, fun question usually, and then the other is a little bit of a bigger question. So let's and in case I sent these questions to you. Maybe Ty didn't see him. He probably didn't. So I'll just ask you, and we'll buy a few minutes of time for Ty to think and see if he can contribute something. So the question was, is there a book, a movie, or website that you think that every coach should watch or read or consume? And maybe not even coach. Maybe we could expand that question to include players and parents. Basically, I'm asking for a resource. Is there something that you are finding yourself suggesting to people to consume? I don't even care if it's a movie, a Twitter site, a book, a magazine. Is there anything out there for you, Omar, that you find yourself recommending to people?
When I came through, I used to read the mental toughness of baseball. That was kind of my deal. Was understanding that the mental side of things was always going to kind of play big for me. You know what I mean? And like talent was never an issue. I'm 6'7", and I threw hard and I ran fast. I hit balls really far. So I needed to understand the mental side of it because it was so important for me. Because I think at some point, everybody became the same. Everybody was just as good as you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You
As
know,
you get higher on the food chain, the talent's all there, isn't it?
So yeah, and that was like really, really, really big for me. And at the same time, I like to have fun during the game. So I was a Bull Durham kind of guy, like Bull Durham, Mr. Base. So I liked it when I go on the field. I wanted to kind of kick your butt and laugh at you and make fun of you and like, pick at you. And I really wanted to, I'm kind of like, me and Dion are friends, and he's the same way. I really want a rivalry when I get to the park. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be thick, foamy. I want it to be, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, I want the best team to win because of, we're going after the game, we can laugh and suck and jive is all we want. But during that game, it's business. You know what I mean? It's business. And we do whatever you have to do to win. You just have to, it's no stop. You got to hit that ball, guys. We got to do this. And I was a tough guy. Like, I wanted our guys to play, on my team, I wanted people to play, with me. Like, hey man, like we're not taking no crap from these guys. We're going at it, and I'll be the big guy. Don't worry, I will go against their top guy. Don't worry, but I'll do that. You just do your job behind me. You know what I mean? And then that's kind of how I was brought up. I had some really good coaches, Brooks Haney and Charlie Wortham. I had some really good guys on my Ronnie Green that were kind of tough guys. Brooks, they weren't going to let nobody push us around. We practiced a lot. I mean, we practiced 4 to 5 days a week. So mental toughness of baseball. I like fun baseball movies because on the field, I think there's a level of fun that goes around with kind of being a jokester and making that other team a little mad at you. And then, Cecil Espy's one. I forgot to mention him earlier. Cecil Espy, he played forever in the big leagues, is one of my best friends on the family. He also coaches with us, man. And he was the guy who actually taught me how to coach. Even though I was coaching.
Sure.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Just watching how meticulous he was about, watching stats, how many ABs kids had, what they were doing day in and reconciling after every game and making sure that we understood, what we were going to do next game, how he treated the kids. Cecil's a very tough coach. He's the kind of guy that smiles in your face and lets you know he means business at the same time while he's smiling. Yeah. So, but just mental toughness in baseball was
and Ty, hopefully he bought you a little time. Is there a book, a movie, a website, a Twitter account, any kind of resource that you find yourself recommending to either other coaches or players or parents?
Yeah, there's a book out there by the name of Mind Gym. I don't know if anybody's heard of it. It's called Mind Gym. What's the name of it? An Athlete's Guide to Inner Excellence. It's a very good book on the mental part. It's not just baseball related. It's just more mental overall as an athlete. And I just had a teammate who I saw reading it in the locker room, and I was like, "Oh, what is that?" Yeah. He let me borrow it. I said, "Oh, just check it out. See if you like it. Just read a couple of pages." And I ended up reading like 3 chapters, and I was like, "Oh, I don't read very often." So, for that, it kind of just helped me. Like we say, baseball is a very mental game. So
yeah, I'm looking at it.
Any way you can.
I found it on Amazon. Mind Gym, An Athlete's Guide to Inner Excellence by Gary Mack. You can find it right now, used on Amazon for $1.50 plus shipping. Go buy it. If you're hearing this, go buy it. Get yourself a copy. You have $1.50. Go. You can buy it new for $10.91. Go buy the book. Get a used copy for $1.50 plus shipping. All right, I appreciate that recommendation. That's one I have not had anybody recommend. Last question. This is sometimes a bigger, lengthier rabbit hole that we go down, but what is one change that you think could be made to travel baseball that would have the biggest positive impact? The biggest positive impact?
That's a great question. For me, I think in the direction the game is where the game is going. I think it's become more exclusive rather than inclusive. I think there's a lot of kids out here that don't necessarily get the opportunity to play in some of the bigger tournaments. And when they do, the people pull together teams, no matter who it is, they kind of just pick through the litter and say, we want these kids, and they forget about a lot of kids that still have a lot of talent. I just wish there was something that was there that was easier for the kids to do, because the cost of the game is just it's counted out a lot of guys, and we sit back and we, as our group, we really try to pull that end up and say, hey, you know what, don't worry about it. You can go with us. We can't take everybody. Yeah. And I just think that there's a lot more kids out there that have dreams than just the ones that you see at Perfect Game or wherever, and I think if there was something I could do to be able to help, if anyone would get behind me and say, like, let's help get those other kids there, give them a tournament, give them something, and give them more eyes so that way they have a better opportunity to go to school. Because inevitably, most of the kids, when they play to this level and they play to 17 and they're serious, they really want to go to school and they want to continue their baseball career. And a lot of them use it to go to college, to get, because they don't have the money to go to college. So I think for me as a group, I would love to see more that are designed to be able to help kids, help them complete their dream of at least of going to school and continue to play baseball at the next level, because it's so hard now to even get a college scholarship. So, and I know they have to do their job and keeping their grades up, but I can tell you, I can name a lot of kids a lot of teams that call me and they kind of go, hey man, I can't get in this tournament, and they're really good teams, and they won't let me in. And I just think that's a shame. I think somebody needs to do something about that. And I know it takes facilities and I know it takes money, but if we're really in it for kids, and that's really what we're supposed to be doing. So I think if there was one thing I could do was open up that side of it so that more kids get more opportunities, or at least you have more eyes on kids and having workouts and things like that to be able to help kids continue their baseball career and maybe help them get scholarships, if not continue to play at the next level, even beyond that. So, but that's where I'm at. Ty, you can go ahead.
Ty, you got what? Any change that would have the biggest positive impact on travel baseball?
He kind of took the words out of my mouth there. That's not really fair there.
Yeah.
I was thinking like I was thinking.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, guys, I appreciate both y'all coming on today. It's kind of fun to to think about getting to work. Omar getting to work with his son, Ty getting to work with his dad. Baseball really is a sort of a family business for so many folks. But it also there's way more people who don't get the opportunity. So, I hope you guys appreciate that. Even on the worst days, that's a pretty cool thing. Ty, Omar, Washington, you guys who are still listening, definitely connect up with them. Find them on the website over at Citius Baseball, and also if you end up in the Dallas, Mesquite, Texas area, Velocracy Pitching Academy. Go in there and work out till 2 a.m. with Omar. He'll be there with you. He'll get a cup of coffee for you. I want you guys to not hang up yet. Actually, I'll give you any final words for anybody who still might be listening to us, Omar.
I'll just say, guys, continue working on your development. At the end of the day, I think scouts want to see the level of skill that you have. I think you guys need to really focus on continue to develop your kids and don't worry about, who you're playing with. Just make sure that when he plays, he's that guy, be that ace, be the number one. So that's what they want. They want the top guys. Yeah. They don't want the team. So yeah. I think you need to really focus on that side of it.
And Ty, any final words for anybody still listening?
Man, for kids, just go out there, man, and compete. and have fun, play it like it's your last day. That's literally how I played until like my hair was on fire. So I would just encourage kids to really go out there and play the game at a hard level. But like I said, have fun at the same time. This game is for kids, so it's a kid's game. So go out and enjoy it and do what you need to do.
Love it. That is so. I love that. Have fun. That honestly, I think we need to remind ourselves of that every single day. Thank you guys for both of y'all coming on. Hang on 1 second. Don't hang up. We're gonna stop the recording there though.